I've always appreciated great book cover art, and when it comes to book covers, there's no one better to showcase than Mr. Stephen King. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be talking about my top 10 Stephen King cover art. Now when I say that, I'm not going to pluck out individual books. It's too hard, there's too many. So what I thought I would do instead is pick 10 reprint or reissue groups that have spanned from the 80s right through till present day. And what I've done is from each group I've actually taken 6 sample covers to give a fair representation of all the reissues that I'm going to go through. So let's start off with number 10. Now these ones are the 1993 Signet paperbacks. Now I think they're 1993. There was a bit of conflicting information on Goodreads when I was compiling all the JPEGs together, but I'll go with that. So you can see here the art is fairly minimalist. There is a little bit of colour. Some of the screens are a little bit dark. I do like them because they're dark and brooding and sinister looking, and I don't own any of those, but I can certainly appreciate really good covers and probably a worthy number 10 spot. So they're quite good. You'll notice that a couple of the covers are quite dark, but you know, I think they're a very good cover. Coming in at number 9, we have the latest reissue that Hodder or Hachette, the Australian distributor, has actually put out last year. And what they've done, as you can see there's a copy of 1922, the Sundog, a couple of shorter fiction that have been extracted from the anthologies and put into their own separate book, which I can see the logic behind that, so that it looks great on the shelves. But I'm not really a fan of the art. I don't know what it is I don't like about it, but you know, maybe it's the font, maybe it's everything. But I expected with a new reprint for something to be a little bit nicer and more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So there we go, that's the number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have, I believe these are the 2013 US Kindle editions. These are quite good. They're quite uniform, they're all the same. They have a very bold font that Stephen King's written in, and they have just enough art in there to entice you into buying those covers or downloading those ebooks. But I find the art quite, you know, softly done. It's subtle and certainly is very attractive to the eye. Coming in at number 7, we have the UK Hodder Rainbow editions. Now you will see it's a very bold black Stephen King font and very minimalist illustrations on the covers, so you only get it's quite abstract really, and just gives you a hint of the theme of the book. And I think the symbols that are used are quite appropriate, and you know, if you didn't know what the title of the book was, just from the pictures alone you would be able to work out for yourself which book is being represented. Now just to show you a closer look, I do happen to own one of the Rainbow editions with my favourite book, The Shining, and you can see it here. So the significance of the hornet or the bee is pretty important in the book, but where it gets its rainbow theme from are the spines. So you can see here an orange spine with this one, and all the rest are different colours, and if you had them all lined up on your shelf it would look pretty effective. So quite a good cover in my opinion. And in number 6 spot we've got the 2011 Hodder paperback reissues. Now this is quite interesting. The cover art isn't terrible. I actually quite like it. It's nice and subtle. The Stephen King font is very consistent throughout. The same font is used for the titles. I like the softness of the pictures that are depicted on the covers. And what's interesting is I have a couple of the covers here, and what Hodder did with this reissue was they split the whole list up into separate groups. So for example, if I show you my copy of 4 Past Midnight, on the spine it'll actually say in the top here, it'll say Riveting Dark Stories. So they've labelled 4 Past Midnight, Skeleton Crew, different seasons in a sort of orangey theme cover. And what they've done with things like Dolores Claiborne and Misery, they released those in this blue format, and they actually labelled that one on the spine as Suspense. And the thicker books, such as Needful Things and It and The Stand, are exactly the same in this darker, more orangey format. And on the actual spine here, it'll actually say Epic. So they split the whole list up into different subgroups, which I think was really interesting, and it certainly distinguishes the thicker books from the thinner ones and the different themes that are going on throughout the entire backlist. So a pretty good number 6 spot in my opinion. At number 5 we have these really nice US Kindle editions, which I like them because of the colour usage. Every cover has its own stark colour. The Stephen King font is consistent throughout. The art that's used is very minimalistic and very sharp outlines, and I think that works really well, and they just stand out. And if you're browsing on your tablet and looking at purchasing these digitally, I think the colours just pop, and if you had the whole set of those in ebook format, I think you'd be very happy. So really like how those covers have been done, especially when you take away the title and the author and you're just left with the pictures. You would automatically know what the book is. That's how well done the art is. So a very good number 5 spot. At number 4 we have, now these are really nice, these are the 2018 Scribner editions, and I just like the soft palette that's used. I like the font they've used to put Stephen King in, and I think they're just they're detailed enough and colourful enough to make it very attractive to buy them in the store. Now unfortunately in Australia here we wouldn't have access to these beautiful editions. If we did, I'd probably buy a heap of them myself. They are that nice, and I have watched a few booktubers showcase their bookshelves, and they do actually have these editions. So whoever the artist was, very gifted, and yeah, they're certainly very attractive covers, which is why they make a very worthy number 4 spot. Alright, now coming in at number 3 we have the 1986 New English Library or NEL editions. Now it comes in number 3 because I not only love the artwork, it's very nostalgic for me. You'll notice that the UK cover of it is very iconic, and I really like how the publisher put at the bottom a little tag that says "Words are his power." I really like that, and I like the font that Stephen King's written in. I like the art. It's very effective. If you pay particular attention to the Pet Cemetery cover, Church, look, the cat looks absolutely evil. I think they captured the image of Church really well, and it's just really effective, and a lot of people in my generation will remember those covers fondly. It's what I grew up with. They're the covers that I used to get when I first started reading King, and they're just fantastic. So definitely a worthy number 3 spot. Alright, now number 2 we have these 1993 editions. Now these are great. I mean, the colour usage is fantastic. They're sharp, they're vibrant, they're full of colour, and I really like how the Stephen King font is written in gold. I find that really effective. On the spines, they look really good on the shelves. I've only got a few of that format. The problem is with the sheer volume of King's work and how I've collected them, they're all mismatched, which couldn't be helped. But you get that. I've got a bit of variety, so they say that's the spice of life, so be it. But they're nostalgic for me as well. They're the next generation from the 1986 editions. So I'm definitely happy with those covers being at number 2. And finally, at number 1, this is a new favourite for me. These are the Halloween editions that got released by Hodder in 2019 and 2020. Unfortunately, we didn't get any last year, and there's a very good reason for that I'll go into in a moment. But these covers just absolutely pop. As soon as I saw them in 2019, I had to have them. It's I think the cover art is brilliant because it has kept the essence of the 1980s Stephen King label that became very famous, and a lot of Stephen King fans will recognise. And the illustrations they've used, I've actually showcased them in a previous video if you want to check that out. But the colour saturation is amazing, just everything about it. Spine out, they look fantastic on my shelves, and I did actually make a query to Hachette, the Australian distributor of those books, and the answer I got was what I expected. I asked them if there were going to be any more Halloween editions, because I would happily convert my entire paperback collection to that format. They are that good. And what they mentioned was, and I'm not surprised, they're focusing all their energies on reissuing all the books in that new format that I mentioned at the number 9 spot. And obviously they've told me they're not going to be doing Halloween editions this year, but they haven't said never. They did indicate that after these reissues have been done, that they might look at doing another run of the Halloween editions. So it might be a bit of a wait, but I can't wait for it, because they are my absolute new all-time favourite covers. So there you go, that is my top 10 in my Stephen King cover art. I think I've given quite a broad cross-section of all the art that's out there. Obviously there are other book covers on their own that are brilliant, but for the sake of the exercise I just wanted to showcase them in their groups, which just proves how good the art is. So let me know in the comments below what your favourite Stephen King cover art is. What did you grow up with? What do you recognise? What did you have from your generation? I'd be very interested to hear that feedback. And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll respond to all comments below. Just a quick thing on what's coming up on the channel. Very shortly I'll be doing my January wrap up, and I'll also be doing my February TBR as well, so look for those in the next week or so. But until next time, see you later.